Outrage is boiling over in the Philippines as thousands of citizens take to the streets, demanding justice in the face of a massive corruption scandal tied to flood control projects. Imagine living in a country where your taxes, meant to protect communities from devastating floods, end up lining the pockets of politicians, officials, and business tycoons instead. But here's where it gets controversial. As the truth unravels, it's exposing not just a few bad apples, but a deeply flawed system, and the public's patience has finally cracked. Amid heightened tensions and possible unrest, authorities deployed an extensive police presence to ensure protests stayed peaceful. Officers were positioned at key demonstration zones, a well-known park with historical significance, and around a landmark symbolizing democracy, along Manila's primary highway, EDSA. Organizers set their sights high, hoping to achieve one of the largest anti-corruption turnouts ever witnessed in the nation's recent history. Safety concerns weren't limited to locals. Embassies from the United States and Australia proactively advised their citizens to avoid the protest hotspots, underscoring the serious, potentially volatile atmosphere. These warnings added an extra layer of urgency to an already tense national moment. As the protests surged, demonstrators proudly waved Philippine flags and raised banners demanding change. No more, too much, jail them. Their message was unmistakably clear. Every individual implicated in the scandal must be swiftly prosecuted. This wasn't just political grandstanding. It was a raw response to profound betrayal. Student activist Althea Trinidad captured the pain many Filipinos feel. It's crushing to lose our homes, even our dreams, while others enjoy luxury cars, overseas vacations, and endless wealth with our hard-earned money. Trinidad, who hails from Bulacan, a province with numerous suspicious flood control projects, joined approximately 8,000 passionate voices, each echoing the same call for accountability and an end to the abuse of public trust. She added, "Our goal is real change. A society where citizens no longer have to fear being exploited by the powerful." Church leaders also weighed in, with Cardinal Pablo Virgilio David, speaking for the Catholic Bishops' Conference, imploring protesters to stand up for democracy, but do it peacefully. "Our intent isn't to destabilize the nation, but to strengthen its democratic foundations," he explained, highlighting the moral case for challenging systemic corruption. Interestingly, and this is the part most people miss, organizers focused on unmasking corrupt officials, lawmakers, and construction magnates, but pointedly refused calls for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to resign. Is this a sign of faith in the office, or just a tactical choice to avoid deeper chaos? The debate continues. The scandal first hit the spotlight during President Marcos's annual address in July. In response, he formed an independent commission to scrutinize nearly 10,000 flood control projects since his mid-2022 inauguration, totaling a staggering 545 billion pesos, about $9.5 billion. He was blunt, calling the extent of corruption horrible, and swiftly accepting the resignation of his public works secretary. The public's anger turned to disbelief after a wealthy couple, owners of multiple construction firms that landed lucrative contracts, showed off garages filled with European and American luxury cars, including a British model costing 42 million pesos, $737,000. Their explanation? They bought it for the free umbrella. Under the national spotlight, this couple, Sarah and Pacifico Discaya, delivered bombshell testimony on television. They named at least 17 lawmakers and public works officials who they claimed squeezed them for massive kickbacks to gain project approvals. Their revelations only deepened the scandal, throwing more fuel on the fire. But here's where opinions sharply divide. In a separate congressional inquiry, 2 high-profile senators were also implicated by a former government engineer. Every accused party vehemently denied any wrongdoing, yet formal investigations continue to swirl around them. Do you believe their denials, or is this just politics as usual? The fallout has been swift and dramatic. Senate President Francis Escudero and House Speaker Martin Romualdez each stepped down amid increasing criticism and embarrassment for both legislative bodies as more names surfaced in the widening corruption probe. Meanwhile, at least 3 government engineers have already been fired, and 15 more are under review for dismissal. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon confirmed that not only are criminal charges being prepared, but assets, from bank accounts to houses and cars, will be frozen to recover misused funds. So what's the real story here? Is this just the tip of the iceberg for one of Southeast Asia's most persistent governance challenges? Or could these protests mark a turning point for accountability in the Philippines? Now it's your turn. Should harsher penalties be imposed for corruption? Or is the whole system in need of an overhaul? Who or what should change first? Share where you stand. Agree, disagree, or bring a new perspective to the debate below.